Hey there, Sandy from sandybowie.com. So today we're going to talk about where do visibility blocks come from and how do I know if I got one as well. So let's tackle that second part of the question first. How do you know if you've got a visibility block? Well, it's really easy to tell actually, and it's very common as well. So if you're resisting creating content and putting it out there online, it could be content in the form of a live stream, or a podcast, or it could be, a video or a blog post, even a Facebook post that you want to put out there. If you're resisting this because you're not sure about what people will say about your content or what they will say about you, and you're worried about being judged or criticised, whether people will call you out as a fraud, that you don't know what you're talking about, chances are that that's because you have a visibility block, because that's how it tends to show up, like as fear and resistance to doing things. And here's the thing, if you want to create that amazing business that I know you want to create and have that amazing lifestyle that goes with it, in order to get that, you probably know that you need to do some things that are going to make you feel very uncomfortable. And sometimes, and that's about visibility, and sometimes it can also feel quite threatening as well. So, I still remember the first time I sent out, when I started to send emails out to my list, I actually had panic attacks. I literally couldn't breathe after pushing the send button. I was so scared about what was going to happen. And the first time someone unsubscribed from my list when I was doing an event, it took me about 2 hours to get over that. I worried and worried about, what had I done wrong? What had I done? Didn't they like me? Was my content totally shit? I took it really personally. I had real issues around my confidence to be able to be under the spotlight and have people see me, and be able to have that interaction with them. And that kept me just running, constantly running away and hiding from my potential customers. I even at one point stopped emailing out to people because I couldn't deal with the stress of it. Now, does any of this sound familiar to you at all? Because it is very common, and if it is, you probably have blocks around visibility too. But let's think for a moment about where they come from then. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today was our beliefs. You already know that we start forming beliefs from an early age, and we can add new ones later on in life, and we can change them at any time any time at all that we want to. But we could have picked up beliefs along the way, things like, the world is not a safe place. It's a big scary world out there. Those are not good beliefs to have at all in terms of being visible. The people can attack you at any time. It's just not safe out there. That's a very common one. And we can pick these beliefs up from our parents as children as well, because our parents are probably, for most of us, they're our key role models at our early age. So what kind of behaviours were they displaying with regards to visibility? Did they teach you to play it safe and not take risks? Did they teach you to just keep quiet and not rock the boat? There's a lot of, shh and all this when you're children, keep quiet. Did they say things like, well, children should be seen and not heard? That you weren't able to communicate, that you didn't have a voice, that what you had to say wasn't valid, no one wanted to hear it. All of these things, they're deeply rooted actually, and they affect our behaviour later on in life because they shape who we are and how we interact with the world. So we need to root these things out, and we need to understand what are the beliefs that are holding us back here. So the second thing I wanted to talk about was our experiences interacting with others. So a lot of our beliefs that we form come from experiences that we have in life. We have an experience and then we create a rule around it. We create this rule for ourselves based on how the experience went, how the interaction went, and then we turn them into little tightly held beliefs that we try to live our life by. And And it's all done, really quickly, unconsciously, although some of them are also conscious decisions as well. So some of the big and sometimes traumatic experiences actually that we have as children, like, can be where we get things wrong. And this affects our visibility in an absolutely huge way. So let me give you an example of this, right? So when I was at school, I was a really good student actually. I was the one that was getting A's in the exams and all those sorts of things. But there was this one teacher that I had who, on this one occasion, stood me up in front of the whole class and gave me a seriously good, talking to, because I had scored 19.5 points out of 20 in a test, just a class test that he'd set. And for some reason, he decided to single me out that day. And he didn't admonish any of the other people that got a lot less than that. He just decided, for me, 19.5 out of 20 just wasn't good enough. So I think that's actually his exact words, that it just wasn't good enough. So I learned from that whole experience, like, it was totally humiliating for a start, but I learned that even a tiny, tiny fraction of a mistake for me was just not okay. There's no room at all for mistakes. That half a mark less? I can't afford to do that. I have to get it absolutely right. We're talking 100%, 20 out of 20 for me. And that's how I tended to live the rest of my life, actually, from that really humiliating experience, trying to avoid anyone telling me off in the future. Like, it has to be absolutely right. That is shocking, by the way. And how about that for a teacher creating a perfectionist streak in a child that then goes on to literally, rule your life? And for any of you out there who are also perfectionists, you've probably got your own story about things that happened. And it doesn't just happen once either. It happens from lots of different angles as well. That's how we create our perfectionist streak, which is a massive visibility block. So here's the third thing I wanted to talk about today, and it's simply our hang-ups. Now, we all have hang-ups about who we are, how we look. Like, most of those sorts of things come from our beliefs about ourselves as well. But there's also a huge amount of pressure today to look like you've got it all figured out and that you're living the perfect life, at least, from the outside. You've got to let other people think that that's the case. Now, you might have hang-ups about things like, we all might, about our weight, our clothes, our hair, or our teeth, or, where we live, the environment that we're in, where we go on holiday, because we've got so much pressure going on to be perfect. There's all these people, we've got to be perfect to be online so that other people can see us, and we're looking at other people with their fabulous new websites and their glossy pictures and all the traveling that they're doing, and they're posting it all on Instagram, and it is designed in a way really to inspire us for our own life and what we can achieve. But for most of us, it actually has the opposite effect. We compare ourselves to these other people, and where we fall short, which we inevitably do, because it's not realistic, it's not real life either, like, the desired effect isn't inspiration at all, and actually it causes us to doubt ourselves even more, and it makes us feel more fearful. Like, we look at ourselves and we think, well, I'm not as pretty as that, I'm not as young as that, I don't have the same nice clothes, I don't live in the same nice house, I can't post where I am online because it's not as nice as what they have. And this also causes visibility blocks. Being ashamed of being seen online because you've got your crappy old photos that you took years ago perhaps instead of your glossy, photo shoot, can be a huge block. Not having the right clothes to maybe have a photo shoot done or to get on camera. And here's another one, like thinking that you have to wait to lose a few pounds before you get your photo shoot done. I mean, it's crazy what we do to ourselves, but it's real, and these are all very common visibility blocks, and they keep us stuck. So the key to all of this really is self-acceptance. Like, self-acceptance, and accept who you are, exactly how you are right now as well. Like, where you are right now is perfectly okay, and you can move forward from there. Like, just doing your own thing and not caring about what other people are doing at all. That is absolutely the way forward. But these are really deep-rooted issues that we need to address to be able to get to that self-acceptance and to be able to make it online. If we truly want to live that amazing life and run this incredible business, we're going to have to get over these blocks. There's so much talk about money blocks, and there has been for quite a long time actually in this online female entrepreneur world. But there isn't enough talk about getting over our visibility blocks. A lot of people are like, well, you just have to get over them, that's it. But these are deep-rooted things. They're deep-rooted in our self-identity, and they can take a bit longer to overcome than some of our money blocks. But it's not impossible. We can definitely overcome them. You can become the coach that you want to be. You can be the person that gets on camera, that has your inspirational message, and you can share it with other people. You just have to work on your blocks every day and move forward every day with them as well. Now, I have a resource for you as well. If moving forward and getting past your visibility block so that you can finally get your work online as well and feel comfortable being the coach that's sharing your message, then if you go to www.sandybowie.com/work-with-me, you can book a Tap Yourself Visible session. Now, in this session, we actually work on your number one visibility block. The one thing, the most important thing that you need to do to get past that fear and get yourself online. And we use energy-based techniques like EFT and really deep-rooted work to move past the experiences that you had in your childhood and the beliefs that you formed in your childhood to be able to do this work that you're meant to do now. So like I say, if you go to www.sandybowie.com/work-with-me, book yourself a session, because it's totally possible for you to get over that block today. Now, I hope you find this useful today. Comment below. If you're over on the blog, comment below and let me know what some of the issues, visibility blocks are that you've been working through. If you're watching on Facebook, message me and we can talk about how we can set up a session to get over your visibility blocks, because it's absolutely possible. But listen, I hope you've enjoyed this and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.